Hey, hey, hey. Hey, how are you guys today? This is our first podcast that we're doing today. So, we got a real big agenda today. We're going to be talking about relationships, but first, we're going to introduce ourselves. This is Candid Talk with Lexee Love
and Valentina versus Valentino. Hey, y'all.
Hey, so yes, we have decided to do a podcast with a mother and daughter theme. And I'm actually 20 years older than my daughter. So we wanted to do a little different flow and just talk about different topics and, do the take on, different opinions based on age. So yeah, I would like to introduce my daughter and, a little bit about her. And then we will just move on from there.
All right. So like I said, I'm Valentina versus Valentino. So just a little bit about myself. I'm a mother. My daughter's 9 years old. I also do bartend as well downtown. And I also work at Amazon just like during the week. So actually made something a little special. We're going to get into that later, but you can take it over.
Yes, well, I am an actress here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm also a writer, a producer, a filmmaker. And so this is like a big deal for me. Like, I've been on a couple of podcasts, and one of my friends that's an entertainment lawyer, she's like, oh my gosh, you really need to do your own podcast. So I had, told my daughter about it, and she's like, yeah, Mom, let's try it. So yeah, so this is like, like the first time that I'm doing it. So I'm kind of like, bringing my daughter along and see how that works out. But yeah, she actually is a great bartender. And she's got me a little drink here. What's the name of this drink?
So, my mother really likes tequila. And so I just decided, to do something simple, something, because it's starting to get warm again, summer. So something refreshing. And I feel like, I don't know, margaritas are kind of like girly drinks a little bit.
Yes,
so
and
it's pink. But anyways,
yeah. Why don't you show what the actual drink looks like? Because we're drinking it out of a thermos.
So this is called the prickly pear margarita. So, fairly simple, nothing like too crazy. I just use like silver tequila and triple sec and some lime juice and then prickly pear syrup. So it's pretty simple. It's a good drink. Like I said, it's very refreshing. So any of you bartenders or ladies out there, y'all hosting, or, maybe if y'all just want to go out somewhere and get it if they have it. But yeah, so yeah, it's good.
It's actually really good. And actually, in order to, if you want to support us even more, not just watching our YouTube channel, you can go on wealthcity.shop and get these beautiful tumblers. We also have mugs. We also have phone cases for any iPhone, Galaxy, any kind of phone that you have. We have cases for those. And I love Japanese art, because this is what it is, Japanese art. And so, yeah, it'll really help us, continuously finance our YouTube and our podcast channel.
Right.
So, excuse me, we decided to start with something just basic, because, everybody loves talking about relationships.
Right.
And I actually came up with a topic called relationship currency. My daughter was like, what does that even mean? And basically, I have my notes. Of course I have my notes. Value and interest. And this is relating to relationships between two people. We're going to stick to two people. Right. We don't want to go to the whole everything. Yeah, we're going to keep it as simple as possible. So it's just going to be a perspective between my age group, which is Gen X, and millennials. And we may agree on some things and we may not. So first, I want to start with, I'm going to, you can chime in whenever you get ready. Okay. We're going to make this fun because I love fun.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So value and interest. So basically, when I think of a relationship with a man, and to me, there's a difference. When he values you, there's a different type of relationship. When he's just interested in you, it's a different type of relationship. So I kind of want to break it down for the difference. And the first thing, to me, when a man values you, he makes you part of his priorities. When he's interested in you, contact you once in a while. Right. What do you think about that?
I would say yes, I agree. I mean, honestly, like, I don't know, just like the way that I deal with guys, it's normally them kind of like approaching me, not really me approaching them. So with that said, like, they've always really just, been interested. Yeah. So they were doing what you call value currency. That's pretty much what I have experienced.
Well, that's basic. I mean, a person has to be interested in you in order to even come and talk to you. Right. That we know that that's supposed to happen. Right. But once they get to know you, then it's either going to move to value, they value you, or it's just going to stay interest. They're just going to be interested in you, and they may date multiple people. Right. And that's the difference that I think that us as women have. We don't understand that when it comes to men. So
I don't know, honestly, to add on to it before you move on. I feel like I am always the one, like, I feel like I'm the aggressor in the relationship. Like, I never feel like I've been with somebody and I felt used by them, in some way, shape, or form. I feel like I'm always the one kind of deciding how it's going to be. And if it's just a temporary thing, that's just a temporary thing. And some of those people that I ended up, like, was with, like, we're not together anymore. But
well, I mean, that's a whole different topic as far as feminine energy and masculine energy. A lot of times I feel like when you are the aggressor as a female, is that man's not leading. So your masculinity energy is going to be dominant.
Yeah, and sometimes it could be like, because I know my ex would just say, like, that I don't know, I played like a strong role. So I guess maybe that offended him in some way.
Well, maybe his masculine energy was not there. Right. Because I think a lot of times women will submit to men if their masculine energy
or
is
if you
dominant.
Respect them. That's something he liked to say a lot. You don't respect me.
Well, that's on him. A lot of times that's on him because a woman will follow if a man knows how to lead properly. But that's just, that's just my thing. Right. Yeah. I don't know about millennials. Millennials, you guys are in a whole different world. But for Gen X, I feel like we want the man to lead. We want him to be strong natured. But if he's not, of course we're going to be like, okay, well, and then that's why a lot of times I feel the relationship doesn't work because the roles are not proper.
Right. I don't know. Honestly, I just feel like we're not living in the 21st or,
the 20th century.
Yeah. So the roles are a little bit different just as far as it's not the traditional way where the man goes to work, he takes care of everything. The wife's at home, doesn't work, take care of the kids.
Well, that's physical. I'm talking about energy. Right. Like to me, it's different. Physical because I mean we're living in a time where probably both parents or both partners have to work. I mean that's just the way it is. Unless he's a multimillionaire or you're a multimillionaire kind of thing. I'm talking about more like he knows how to make you feel like a woman, feminine energy. And so to me it's a little different. It's not a physical thing where because a woman is going to work, she wants to have her own money, she's going to want to do that. But I think when a man is knows who he is.
Right, exactly.
He's going to know how to
secure.
lead. Yeah, they got to be very secure. I mean, you know.
Yes, especially dealing with us because we're just strong-headed. And I wouldn't say that even like, I'm just an aggressive type of person. Like, I'm a go-getter. If I see something that I want, then I'm going to do. People are going to know, you know, what's going on. Like, that's just how it is. And that's just how I am with everything. And I think that's just women empowerment. Like, just, and I feel like it's been like that ever since women have tried to, you know, get rights and stuff like that. We've always had to fight. And then especially as black women too, that's a whole nother issue. So,
very much so.
But, yeah.
I feel like with being a black American, they see us as we're always supposed to be stronger. We're always supposed to be aggressive. But when you are a single woman and you're the only one that's protecting yourself, you have to be strong. You have to not be victim. You can't be weak. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Right.
And so I think a lot of times when the right man does come around and he wants to take that energy and you be feminine and you totally depend on him to protect you, because a man is supposed to protect you. He's supposed to provide for you. He's supposed to, you know, say, hey, baby, this is how we're going to do it. You are the queen.
Right, exactly.
And I think the roles have changed, and I think that's probably why a lot of relationships end up not happening, or they go by the wayside, because nobody really knows your role. And we're totally talking heterosexual. We're not going into the other stuff.
Right.
Because I don't live that life. I am a heterosexual woman, so I'm exclusively talking heterosexual, and that's just how we're gonna keep it. And it's not dissing anybody else. It's just
speaking from experience.
Speaking from experience and what I know. Right. So yeah, let's move on. You want to move on?
Yeah.
The other, I got my notes. Like I said, I got my notes. But value, to me, concerned about your well-being when a man values you, and then interest, curious of what you are doing but wasting your time. I mean, what do you think that, how do you feel about that when you're comparing someone valuing you based on those two examples that I gave and being interested in you?
So when you say they're being curious or wasting your time?
That's an interest. They're interested in you because they have obviously
if they're curious, they're interested.
Yeah, when they're, interest to me, I'm comparing the two. When they value you, they're concerned about your well-being. Right. But when they're only interested in you, they may every once in a while curious, what are you doing? Waste your time. You know how they send text WYD? Right. And not really planning anything. They just kind of like, hey, how you doing?
It's just real small talk.
Yeah. I feel like that's just being interested in you because they have other
things going on.
Other things going on, or they're dealing with other women.
Right.
So I think, I guess really the reason why I wrote this list is because I think we don't know the difference between when a man values you and then when a man is just interested in you.
And I feel like too, just, I don't know, like, it's about what you're willing to deal with, like you always say at the end of the day, because it's like a man may not be everything you want and more, but I'm still stuck on him because A, B, and C. But the bad outweighed the good, so yeah. You know, I feel like a lot of people go through that. Like, it's so easy to just say, oh, you know, why you with that person or this and that, but there's something about them that you know, only you would know, but to everybody else. So I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things. But I guess I'm kind of going through that right now myself. So, I mean, January, was only a couple months away. So,
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's about self-love.
Right. You
have to love yourself. Once you love who you are, you're going to be like, okay, I'm worth more than what you've given me. Right. So you ain't trying to, you know, value me the same way I value myself. Right. You got to move on. Right. And I mean, there is a stage of talking. There's nothing wrong with that. But to me, if a man values you, even though he's interested in you, he's going to say, okay, I'm going to text her. once a day or call her, hey, how you doing? I just wanted to check on you, see how you doing. And you may not be in that situation where you guys are like together,
Right.
but the value there is, oh, I want to see how you're doing. I want to check up on you. How was your day?
Right.
To me, that's a value. That's value. There's a difference between interested, because if you're interested, guys can be interested in a lot of females. I mean, there's some beautiful women out here.
Right.
But if they're not really like showing, they're just like interested. Oh, you're beautiful, or yeah, you look good, or you got a lot going on, but they're not valuing who you are. And that's what I expect a man to do. Value me. Value that, hey, I don't want her to be interested in another guy. We may not be exclusive yet.
Right.
But I do want to let her know that, yes, not only do I'm interested in you, I value who you are.
Right.
And so this is where my little list came from.
Right.
Because I really thought about it. It's like, we don't know the difference.
Right.
So moving on to the next one is value. Listen to your voice, whether it's positive or negative situation. Like if you have some issues going on, if he valued you, he's going to listen to whatever's going on in your life. And then if he's only interested in you, only if they have time. And when I say that, like if you have a problem, it could be at work or somebody pissed you off, and you call them and you be like, hey, can I talk to you? I have some issues.
Right.
And he'd be like, nah, I don't got time. To me, that's just like, okay, I'm going to need to put you back in the crayon box, because
it's kind of low down. Like,
yeah, it's like, oh, I got things going on. I don't got time.
Right.
So I feel like even if he's just your friend at the time.
That's never happened to me. Like, I don't know. I just don't like deal with people that just
blow you off. In a
like
way.
It can never get to that point, because I'm such a people reader. Like, I don't know. Like, I can just tell. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Sometimes you can just tell right away, like if somebody's for you or they're just wasting your time. Like, and that's just me. I don't know how y'all feel, but
yeah, a lot of times, body language, conversation.
A lot of things can kind of tell, like, okay, well, where is this going? And just them being persistent. But even you said you've dealt with somebody that was very persistent at one point, and I don't know what you said the end result was, but
they end up being crazy stalker.
Right.
So it's a lot of times you just have to, as women, we have to pay attention. Because a man, I'm telling you, a man will tell on himself.
It's like, to me, it's a fine line. Like,
some
people can just become so obsessed with you. Like, they're doing all this stuff because they do really want you, but they're taking it too far. Like, it's almost like an obsessed fan or something.
And I guess it just depends on where in the relationship it is. I mean, I believe when you first meet somebody, you're gung-ho. I mean, anytime, you get a new car, you happy, you get a new house, you happy. In a relationship, you meet somebody, you're like, ooh, I like this person. I get that. There is a time where someone is going to be like really into you when they first meet you. I'm not saying that's I'm saying that's wrong.
When is it like appropriate and just kind of like creepy? Like, you doing too much?
I think it really depends. Like,
I guess on how you feel. Like, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, like this is too fast, this is being kind of weird. You kind of know,
like, yeah. I think women, we have our intuition.
Right, you know how you feel. You know if you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, because a man naturally will, even though he may show interest and value you, he have a tendency to pull back just a little bit if he's like, I'm not a creepy guy, I'm not a stalker guy, I really like you.
Right.
But his action will kind of show you that he's not that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like if he sees you, doing something on your, like our Instagram.
Right.
Oh, I see that you had a really good time, but men have a tendency to show you if they're jealous. Men have a tendency to show you if they're insecure. Very much so. So, yeah.
Even if they don't have no reason to be.
No.
That's one thing I learned, honey. It's the fine ones. But anyways.
If she says the five, I need to find me a fine one. Dang. Okay, well we gonna move on to the next one.
Right.
So value and interest. If a guy values you, makes plans to see you.
Right.
If a guy is interested in you, never has time for you, but makes time for others. That's a big one for me. That is
To me,
big.
that's kind of obvious. But
That's a really big one for me. Because I'm just like, if you can't even say, I don't have a lot of time, but let's go have coffee. What is an hour? What's a couple hours? How are you that busy? Where we don't have to go out to dinner. We don't have to do any of that just to see me.
Right.
Because how do you get to know somebody if you never spend time with them?
Right.
I get tired of the texts. I get tired of the phone call. I want to see you. I want to see you face to face.
Right.
That's how I feel. That's why I don't like the whole dating scene.
I feel like it's got to be a healthy medium because, okay, so not with my most recent ex, but the ex before him, he liked to work a lot. So at a point, I always felt like we didn't spend enough time. But it's not like he was out doing anything or wouldn't rather be spending time with me, but he just worked a lot. Like that's just what's his thing. And then the most recent one, he always said I didn't spend enough time with him. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when you're in a relationship with different people, they give you a different outlook, a different aspect. And it's kind of like, it makes you look at yourself like, like maybe I'm not spending enough time or, it just makes you question things.
But were you living with this person at the time? Were you living with this person?
The most recent, yes.
Okay.
That person was saying I wasn't spending enough time with them.
Well, see, that's something different. I mean, when you're living with a person, it's kind of like you're showing we're together. Because you're not going to just live with somebody and be like, we're not together. Like, we're together when you're living. To me, that's different. But if you're just dating someone, you live in two different households, the person, to me, they have to initiate. Like, I don't feel as a woman, I should initiate dates all the time. I should not have to tell you, hey, let's go out there. No, because then my masculinity energy is going to come.
Do you feel like it should be both parties' role?
It depends on the relationship.
Right.
Like if we have decided, okay, we're together.
Right.
Of course I'm going to initiate stuff. I'm going to say, hey, let's go here. Let's do this.
Yeah.
But I need him to initiate as well because then I'm going to want to be in control completely. Right. And then he'd be wondering, well, every time you do you doing this. Because my masculinity energy is on 1,000.
Right.
Because you ain't doing nothing.
And that's why you just kind of need somebody that's a little aggressive. Now, I was talking about this one day at work. I was just saying how, I don't know how we got on the topic, but I guess someone came in and sat at the bar, and I just hadn't mentioned that I need somebody that's aggressive. Like, and everybody was looking at me like, no, like, because everybody looks at me and I guess they think like I'm just like this sweet girl, and I am. But I'm not at the same time. Like, there's nothing innocent about me.
Ain't nothing innocent about this.
There's nothing innocent about me. I'm not going to sit here and... Do I have a type? Yes and no.
I think we all have a type. I mean, at my age...
I feel like I've had, like, all different types of guys.
I mean, personally, when I was younger, especially when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I was like, he gotta be light skinned, he gotta have this hair, he's gotta have all of this. Now at my age, I just need him to want to be around me. Like
the real stuff that matters.
Yes, the real stuff. Because, I'm over that. I want to be able to wake up in the morning and be like, damn, you look good to me.
Right.
That's all I need you is, and obviously the other stuff, but a lot of women is like, oh, he don't look good. When we were younger, when I was younger.
I'm still on that. Like, y'all, like, I'm sorry. Like, I guess you can say I'm a little shallow when it comes to that.
Well,
I'm not going to say what my type is, but I like what I like.
At a younger age, I get it because I was that way as well.
Right.
But as I've gotten older, it's not so much the
about
looks,
the looks, right?
But he's got to be able to be where I can look at him, like I'm just like
I'm sorry,
I'm not like
your
this.
vibe, look, your vibe got to match my vibe, honey. Like,
well, the vibe is a big thing, but I mean, I want to be able to look at him and be like, oh, you know, he's nice looking to me.
Right.
I don't want to be with somebody where I'm like, ooh, or ashamed,
right?
because I'm, you know, I want to. It's different as you get older. It's different, and you have different. You have a different outlook on things.
You're not more so worried about how y'all look together. It's just how they make you feel, how they treat you ultimately.
Very much. Because I mean, I'm a wild. For me to be, I'm wild. I am wild.
So
I'm very
you need
outgoing.
somebody that pretty much is secure. They have
very
to be,
secure.
because you like to go out. You want to do stuff, like you're fun. So you need somebody that's not. I'm not gonna say not necessarily a homebody, because sometimes it's nice just to like chill at home. Sometimes, not always want to go out all the time, but they like to go out. Like,
yes,
and they can go out with your family and your friends and vice versa, and y'all can have a good time. Like, that's, to me, that's important too.
But when a lot of times when I go out, I mean, because I go out with my daughter, I love going out with her.
Right.
But I love to dance. They gotta
be able to accept you, because I feel like you and I are a lot similar in that way. Like, we both are kind of just like out there. Like, we need men that are secure. Like, they've got to be secure. Otherwise, they're gonna be like, yeah,
they're gonna be mad.
They're gonna think you're trying to get what everybody's talking to, and that's not the case. Like,
no, it's not.
Always been an issue for me for some reason. I don't know what it is, but
I mean, I like to talk to anybody,
just
male,
friendly.
female.
I'm just outgoing. Like, that's just how I am.
Yeah, and it's about nothing. It's like, at the end of the day, if you're doing your job, if you're doing everything that a man is supposed to do, you got nothing. I promise you.
Right.
You got nothing to worry about. I may be like, ha ha, he, but
right, because it's like, I'm loyal. Like, I am.
Very.
I'm with who I'm with. Like, if I'm with you, I'm with you, and that's just how it is for me. But I'm friendly, and I need somebody that's friendly too, and understand that it's nothing disrespectful or anything like that. It's just, we just having a good time.
we like to interact. We're very outgoing extroverts. Is that what you would call it? So that's the way that we are. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
We gotta talk about that concert too.
Yeah, we definitely. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's go. We're gonna go there. We're gonna take a little break with the yes. My babies, they went out and they saw SZA last night, and so I wanted to, I didn't go. But how was it? How was the concert? Give a little insight to the people who may go see her later on, wherever she is touring next.
Right. So I'm sure a lot of you all know who SZA is. First time ever going to her concert. It was awesome. Like, I think she's a great performer. It was a great experience. Like, I'm pretty sure she had a sold out show, mixed crowd, all different kind of people. She's very, interactive with her fans, So that was a cool thing. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like, even though everybody was so like, oh my gosh, like, she's here, like, we're here, this is awesome.
Is she a millennial as well?
Yeah, she is. So, but it was awesome. She also brought out Little Baby and Summer Walker. She's got several different, artists on her album, but it was pretty awesome. I would definitely go see her again. I would definitely recommend it for anybody who's never been.
So was it your little sister that got you to go to the concert?
No, I actually so I work with people, and one of the guys that used to work there, he was telling me that she was coming into town. I had no idea. And he was just telling me that he bought tickets for somebody or whatever. So I had brought it up to my sister because she listens to SZA. And I told her, I'm like, hey, they're coming into town or whatever. She's like, oh yeah, I know. And I don't know. It just kind of went from there. Like we just all got tickets. And
well, you know, I wanted to go ahead and put this in before I forget that the music that we had at the beginning of our podcast.
Oh yeah.
That is Sierra's beat. She created it for us. And that's something that she really wants to get into. So yeah, this whole entire production, this whole entire thing is all family orientated. And so yeah, I just actually wanted to throw that out there. I mean, even with our stuff right here, our products, it's totally family orientated, small business kind of thing. So just know that everything that we're doing is definitely setting up a legacy for, with my girls.
Right.
But yeah, what was your favorite song with SZA? What was your favorite song?
So I listened to her album, of course, SOS. So I would say it's a couple songs. It's not Supermodel, but that one's like a really good one. But it's Love Galore and Good Days. I would probably say those are probably
okay. I think Sierra sent me a couple songs.
Yeah.
And actually, what was it? I don't know if it was you that played it or whatever, but I don't know the name of the song where Kill My Ex.
Oh, Kill Bill. Yeah.
I actually was listening to it because the beat is like really good. And I was like, okay.
Right.
And then
I think it's the same music from the actual Kill Bill or something kind of similar to it, right?
And I was like, Kill My Ex. I was like, this is how it was. I had actually stopped and I actually listened to the lyrics. I was like, oh. I was like, oh,
I didn't think it's feeling like that, but yeah.
But like
it's
I said,
a catchy song.
It's like very catchy. But if you're not paying attention to the lyrics, you're just kind of like, hey, what's up?
You're
and then
singing it.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, what's going on? So yeah, that's how I felt. But I'm glad that you guys enjoyed, her concert. You guys had the opportunity to go. So yeah, I mean, you guys are kind of like me because I was like, I definitely was concert goer. I mean, I did Mary J. Blige, Jodeci, everything, Prince. I've been to Janet Jackson. I've done comedy with Eddie Murphy when he did Raw. I mean, my girls have really taken after me because I was concert. I mean, at Earth, Wind and Fire. I mean, shoot.
Oh, I feel like that's probably more of a Sierra thing. Like,
but I'm just saying.
I've been to a lot of concerts.
Yeah.
Like, one of the guys I used to be with, he was a concert goer, so we went to all kind of concerts.
Yeah, you went to them head bangers.
Right.
She was into that. She was into headbanging music at one time. But you've been to Beyonce. You've been to a Beyonce concert.
Beyonce concert.
Back when you were what? In the early 20s?
Yeah, I think so.
So, I mean, we're musically inclined because my father was a drummer. So I never knew where my music love came from until I found out that my dad was actually a drummer in a, I think it was Blackstone, before they got famous.
Right.
And the only reason why he did not continue with them was because he went into the Navy. And so I was like, Dad, I could already be famous already if you had stuck with it. So
did he know Nana during that time?
No, but I was just supposed to be here. So it wouldn't have mattered.
Right, he was going to be here.
Yeah, I was going to be here regardless. So, but yeah, so I mean, that's just a little nugget of my life. That's why I love entertainment. That's why I'm in acting. And oh, by the way, I also did, we were talking about acting before we go back to the relationship currency.
Right.
I did my small short story for film festivals, and you were part of that.
Adrift?
Yeah, Adrift. Okay. Yes. So we're gonna see how that flows. I just started submitting it to film festivals, And we'll see, we'll see, because I really want to be, really people to know me as an actor as well, not just an actress, but as a writer, as well, because I love writing.
Yeah.
I love
You're so good at it.
making up stories. And a lot of times it could be personal,
right.
or it could be somebody else's story.
Right. Or something you just kind of came up with, like, oh, like I would never do this, or I don't know anybody that would do it, but this is a story.
Yes.
So you can kind of go crazy, do what you want. Like,
oh yeah, that's
fun. Creating something that, maybe it's not really a thing, but still,
But you're a creator in your own way.
Right.
I mean, you love doing makeup, you love skincare, you love all of that stuff. So I think all of my children have a creative side to them.
Right.
It's just a different part.
I haven't exactly figured out the oldest ones yet.
The oldest one's what?
What her like little niche is.
Who you talking about?
Baby. Mercedes?
Oh, you're talking about Mercedes. Yeah. I think she's just in love right now. I think Mercedes is just in love.
I think she wants to, I don't know, I feel like everybody has their priorities set up how they want to go. And I guess you can say I'm kind of the same way, but not so much. Just like,
Well, I mean, I just feel like you kind of know what you want to do,
like
but you're very creative. I mean, stylist. I mean, you are naturally a stylist. Like you can put something together, and we're not talking about name brand stuff. She could go to the thrift store and put something together, and you'd be like, what's going on? You could do that on the runway, but that's just you. Yeah. But I think some people are just born with the talent.
Right. They just got that eye, it's just their thing. Like
So yeah. So we're gonna get back to relationship currency.
Like, we can just go
we just all over the place. But that's what a podcast is for. A podcast is about, it's not really scripted, it's just talking about whatever is on your mind, and we want to make it interesting. So yes, the same. Okay, we're gonna move it forward. So value compared to interest is value is invest in you spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Interest is if they aren't busy.
If they have time, pretty much.
Yeah, if they're interested in you, if they ain't busy.
Right.
But if they value you, they want to invest in you spiritually, emotionally, and physically.
Right.
So I think, to me personally, in a relationship, if a man values you, then that's what he's gonna do. That's what he's naturally going to do.
Right.
If he is only interested in you, he'll be like, I ain't doing that. Let me call and see what she doing.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, it's like giving you breadcrumbs.
Right.
I don't want no damn breadcrumbs. I can't do nothing with no damn breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
It's either you want to get to know me, or you don't want to get to know me. Because I promise you, there's somebody out there that wants to get to know me.
Right. Yeah.
And they're going to take the time to do it. I seriously believe that men are a lot different from women.
Oh, for sure.
We have a tendency, if we like somebody, we like them, we're going to show them. And we have to pull back.
Right.
I mean, we really do. We as women have to pull back. But men, I feel like if they really value you who you are, they're going to show you. If they're only interested in you because they got other little girls that they talking to or whatever, they just be like, okay, well, she busy. Let me go ahead and call this girl. Hey, what's up? Because they're interested in you, but they just want to just keep you hanging on. I don't have time for that. Like, for me, I don't have time for that. It's kind of like, I'm too old.
Right, yeah.
I'm too old for that. I'm going to need you to either, you want to value me, or you just move on. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
My feelings are hurt.
Yeah. I definitely feel like you and I for sure have like just like different expectations just when it comes to relationships. Like I'm at this stage where I'm still young, but like I'm getting up there in age to the point where it's like, okay, well, I still want to get married. I still want at least one more kid, you know, so I'm looking for something different. So Lexee Love would totally, you know, I don't know. She's been married, you know, she's had her kids. She's had these things that I have yet to experience fully. So now it's just more so about just a genuine man, like that you like.
Somebody
what
that
you're
can
looking
protect
for.
me, someone that
Right.
can provide, and someone that is invested in me emotionally. Because I know I'm emotional. I already know I'm emotional.
Right.
I mean, I am. I mean, I'm a what you would call, I'm very invested. Even when I have a relationship with a female, I'm invested in the friendship.
Right.
I'm invested. Like, if you got something going on, I'm
Like
gonna be there
you're
for
that
you.
friend, right?
I'm that friend.
Right.
And if I'm invested in you, I'm going to call you. I'm going to
Right.
see how you're doing.
Right.
I believe that if somebody really, really is invested in you, they're going to see how you're doing. Whether
Right.
it's a platonic relationship, or whether it's an intimate relationship, or it's the same sex relationship, meaning that you're my girlfriend, we're friends, we're hanging out, we're doing that. I'm just that. That's why I said it takes me, if personally for me, if I do that for you, then that means I'm invested. I value you, who you are. But once you show me that you don't value me,
Right.
this how I'm in.
Right.
Be like when I get a text,
Right.
I ain't heard from you in like 2 weeks. What do you want?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, and it does, because I'm very invested in people.
Right. Or communicate too. Like, if you know you got something going on, you know, family issues or whatever it might be. And that's just something I feel like comes with growth as well. Because I know just growing up, you used to try to really instill that in me and Mercedes, you know, you need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to communicate. If you can't do it now, you're not going to be able to do it when you get older. It's going to take time. And that's a big issue too in relationships. Like, when they say communication, trust, all that stuff, like, that stuff really matters.
It's a real thing.
It really matters.
Yeah. And comprehend what you're saying and not getting upset. Even if it upsets what the person is saying to you, sit back and absorb what they're saying before you respond. Right. That's where maturity comes in. If you're an immature person, all you're gonna do is go, yeah. You're gonna be like, yeah.
Right. It
turns to an argument.
Right.
So you have to be a mature person, and even if you don't understand, a lot of times I feel like when you communicate, if you don't understand what the person is saying, you be like, you know what? It's upsetting me what you're saying. Let me take some time, and I'm gonna get back to you. But get back. Don't sit there and tell somebody, I'm gonna get back with you, and then you never do it, because then you're building a reputation with that person. Oh, they lying, or they ain't saying, they say they gonna do this, and they really don't.
Right.
That pisses me off as well. That does. So, you know, the dating, like I said, the dating pool. Oof.
Right.
Let's move on. So, value and interest. A person that values you, or a man that wants to be in a relationship with you, opens their heart for you.
Right.
Okay? If they just are interested in you, keeps you confused. What do you think about that?
So, I don't know about y'all, but me, it's a little bit hard for me to show my emotions. Like, I don't know, I've always just been that tough girl, the one that can just figure it out, just very independent. So in some relationships, for men, if they really do care about you and they want to know what's going on with you, and they can tell when something's bothering you, then they're going to ask. And for me, depending on what it is, I might spill the beans, or, you know, I might just play my tough girl role and be like, hey, I'm good. Like, you know.
Well, you've been that. You've been
I
that way
don't like
since
to
day
be
one.
vulnerable to people, if that makes sense.
No, she does not. Okay, I had 4 girls.
Have 4 girls.
Well, I have 4 girls, but when I say had, meaning that they came out of my body.
Past tense.
When she was the only child, the only baby that I had that came on her own. I did not have to get induced. I had to get induced with the first one, the third one, and the fourth one. I didn't have to be induced with her, okay? She decided, Mama, I'm coming. My water broke everything. And so she was that way when she was born. Like, she was just like, when she was born, she just looked at me like, what's up? She's been that way. So her personality has always been very, I would call nonchalant.
Right.
But
just laid back, you know.
Very laid back, but I'm a very emotional person.
Yes, you are. Like,
I'm very emotional.
She's a Cancer, so you're gonna know.
I love hard. I love hard, but then if you show me that you don't care, I don't care either.
I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah, this would be like this: snip, permanent, sever, like burn it, like they do when they do their little umbilical cord. Right. They burn that. I mean, I don't know what they do now, but they burned it back then.
Ain't no coming back from it.
But yeah, Victoria's has always been this way. Like, she's always been this way. So, but I show her love because that's just me. And she's some kind of like, but right. I don't care.
Jillian's like that. My daughter, she's sometime like, she's very affectionate, but she's not at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they're like twins. They're like twins.
Right, old married couple, pretty much. Yeah.
But I guess that's the thing to me, if a guy is really interested in you, he's going to learn that about you, and he's going to figure out a way to
I'm just more reserved. Like, he's
going to get around it, and he's not going to get offended. Like, he's not going to
have to just find a way to reapproach it. Like,
yeah, if he values you, okay, well, you know, and just keep doing it. Like, eventually, you have she has a very soft heart, but it's kind of like it's got kryptonite around it, and you got to figure out how to get inside of it. That's how I feel. Man, but maybe because I'm a mom. I guess I'm just a mom, so. You know, I just know. But, you know, you're my daughter, so I kind of know how to do it.
Right, and I'm older.
Yeah, so.
Older than Jillian. So it's just, since me and Mercedes are adults, of course we go through experiences that you have already gone through. So it's like, obviously you're treating us different because we're grown adults versus how I would try to teach Jillian something. Or the experiences that she has, I haven't had. So,
yeah. And that's why it's so
experience that I had, she hasn't had there.
So that's why it's a little different for us, because we want to talk about the difference between the age difference. Like, I see things differently, she sees things differently. So that's what makes it. That's why we decided really to do this podcast, because we wanted to make it fun. We wanted to talk about the differences, but also what we can relate to, if that makes sense. Yeah. So the last thing we have, when a man values you or a woman values you, I mean, either way, and if they're just interested in you, value is make it clear about how they feel about you when they value you, and when they're interested in you, doesn't express emotions. I'm telling you. Me, personally, I've dated a few guys, and they don't express any emotions. That's a big deal to me, because...
When you say emotions, you mean, like, elaborate?
We've gone out on a couple of dates. We've talked on the phone.
Right.
We're not talking about, like, the first few times. We're talking about maybe 90 days. 120 days,
right?
And they still on the same friend zone.
So they're friend zoning you, pretty much.
Yes, and I'm just like, you know what? It's a waste of time. Because I got plenty of male friends that I talk to.
So when you're saying,
and I'm masculine with them, very masculine with them, because I'm just like, I'm not showing you no emotion. I'm not showing you no feminine energy. If we're in the friend zone, I'm gonna be just like one of your boys. That's how I feel about it.
So there's pretty much just no affection going on.
No, there's not, because you let me know that we're in the friend zone. So I'm gonna talk to you like I'm one of the boys.
Right.
That's for me personally.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I don't know what your age group does, but I don't got time. Like,
okay, so what is the question? Let's go back, because it just kind of like the way you worded it, I guess. Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking, okay, well, what do you mean exactly? Because this could mean several different things. So go back to the question. What was the question?
The question is value.
Okay.
Make it clear about how they feel about you when they value you.
So when you're saying that, this is before y'all get into a relationship or while y'all are in a relationship, you just need to be verbal.
Like when we're talking about like I said, 90 days.
Like love language, like that's a thing.
Yes.
So
yes,
like everybody's love language is different.
Yes, I mean, if you have been talking to somebody or you're interacting with them, if you in 90 days into getting to know them,
so y'all still quote unquote dating, like exclusively dating, like you're not dating anybody else, but y'all are still like trying to get to know each other.
Well, I look at it getting to know each other stage. If by 90 days, 120 days, if you're still in the friend zone, then you just in the friend zone.
Right. More than likely, it's probably not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere because, I mean, especially if you're talking to them on a regular basis.
Right, exactly. Because it's like, at that point, you have more than enough time to tell, okay, well, this is what it is. This is what it's going to be. Or this is what it can be, so.
Yeah.
At that point, the record should already be set. Like, hey,
yes, and that's how it's going to be.
Right.
And
at that point, you can make a decision how you want to proceed.
Yes, and chances are
you probably going to move on.
I personally am going to move on. Like,
yeah.
I'm personally going to move on. It's like, what's up? Hey, how you doing? I'm going to treat you like I'm wanting to treat a boy.
That's not what you're looking for.
Because at first, I'll be honest with you, at first, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to, like, be in another relationship. I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't want to be in another relationship. I don't want to do that.
Right. But you're still young, and it's just kind of like, you got
to I like being in a relationship. I like being with one person. I like that whole aura.
Right.
I don't like dating. But some people like dating.
I'm
serial dating.
Like,
I don't have time. Right. I don't like the competition. I don't like worrying. I don't like wondering.
Right. It's just too much to try to refigure somebody else out every 1 to 2 years or 3 to 4 years or however long you're in a relationship with somebody before it's time for you to move on. Yeah, because
at the end of the day, you're gonna know. I feel like unless something is wrong with you, you're gonna know.
Right.
You're gonna know. There's no there's no second guessing. I mean, unless that person gives you off serial killer vibes, you're gonna know. Okay, can I deal with this person? Do I like this person? Because all of us have our hang-ups.
Right.
That's how I feel. All of us have our hang-ups. All of us have our dislikes. But can I deal with that person who does this, who does that?
Right.
That's how I see it. Yeah. And to me, a man knows a lot quicker than women do, and I'm saying that because
why do you feel like that?
Because women, we have
women have more intuition. Like we just kind of know things.
We have intuition, but we also, if we don't like somebody when we first meet them,
yeah, that's the intuition.
Like, we don't like them. Like we don't. It can take a couple times. Oh, like this dude. Like no, but a man, I don't know
they don't care. Like they don't.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a sex.
They got different motives.
It's like It's like if it's a sex thing. Oh, she fine. I don't want to be with her.
Promiscuous.
I don't want to be with her, but I'll have I'll
Right.
have relations,
Right.
and we know what kind of relations we're talking about.
Right.
Relations with
It's
her.
more physical.
You know, and it's like when you get, to me personally, when you get in my age group, that's old. That's like old. Like you too old to be doing that. Like you too old to be doing that.
To be chasing tail, pretty much.
You too old. Like you too old.
Right, and that's why some older guys, they want younger women because they're still trying to get those glory days back. Like,
You know what? You're not gonna get them back.
That's why they flash their money all over the place.
No, I'm sorry. You got about good 25 years to go.
And most of the time it works. When you flash your money, I mean, that's just how it is.
Well, that's of course for the young folks.
Earlier, women want to be taken care of. They want that security. They want to know, like, okay, I'm good. Like, he's got me.
Yeah, that's. But I'm talking about day in and day out. We're not talking about a few, $200,000 like one time. No, I'm gonna need you to do that every day. Like,
right.
Women want more. To me, there's a difference. If a woman is all about just getting hers,
right,
then of course, she's like, yeah, I'm gonna get that from him. I'm gonna get that from him.
And there's some women out there like that. Like, you can just hear people just having conversations.
And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what works for you, that works for you. But there are women out there that I want that stability. I want that consistency. I want that
same person, that monogamy. Like,
the same person. There's nothing wrong with being with the same. There's nothing wrong. Because I promise you, there's nothing wrong with being with the same person. Right. I hate learning people over again. Exactly. Having the same question. You go on a date. So what do you do for a living? So what do you like? I'm tired of answering them questions. I want to answer it and be with that one person. Like,
'cause I'm the type of chick, I will work stuff out. I don't care. Like, I just
I'm tired of working shit out.
Because just like you said, like, it's the whole going through re-knowing somebody all over again. And I feel like that perfect person just doesn't exist. Like, they just don't exist.
Perfect for you. There's a difference.
Yeah, because people deal with what they can deal with. It's all about what you can deal with. Like, somebody else may not be able to deal with. Most people may not be able to deal with it. But if you can deal with it, then, that's you.
Yeah.
But everybody's different. Because maybe they don't want to start over. Or I don't know. Maybe they feel like that's the best they can do. Who knows?
Yeah, at the end of the day,
it's just what stage you're at in your life. Like, this is what I want. This is what I've accomplished. This is what I'm willing to deal with. It just depends on you ultimately as an individual.
And you said it right. As
and that's
an
why
individual.
You should put your business, keep it private. Like, because everybody has an opinion, and everybody's not gonna agree with you. What you got going on. So
yeah, that's dealing with your sister.
Yeah,
that's what my oldest daughter
for you.
Oldest daughter is dealing with. She is. I have never seen Mercedes as happy.
Yeah, you can
as
really
she
tell.
has been,
and we know her because we're close. So it means more to us than somebody else because they're really just on the outside looking in.
Yes,
so
and she's very. I'm going to give
doing
a shout out to
everything.
Mercedes. I know you're going to watch this. That we are very happy for you because we know your struggles. We know her struggles that she's had and the disappointment she's had. She's very happy. So I'm happy. Definitely. I'm happy that she's happy. Yeah. Regardless of I had to be the mama and had to let some folks know that
it's not cool.
Like, it don't matter what you say. It matters what hers are because at the end of the day, it's her life.
Right.
And I think that's what people misunderstand is that they are too busy trying to make other people happy instead of being happy for themselves. And that's how I feel when a lot of relationships fail, is because you're too busy trying to worry about how other people feel. I could care less because at the end, they're going to still live their life.
Right.
So if you're trying to make them happy, you're trying to make them feel a certain kind of way, but you're unhappy.
Right. It's like at the end of the day, who you trying to please? Like, this isn't a show. Like, this is reality. So I mean, it's your life that you're playing with. I mean, we're only getting older, and time is just passing by. So it's just like at the end of the day, do what makes you happy. Nonetheless,
especially when
you
it
gotta be
comes to
secure.
relationship. Yeah,
Right.
when it comes to relationship, you have to say, you know what? It doesn't matter what you think, what you think, what you think. This is who I want. This is who I want to be with.
Right.
And if you can't deal with it, then maybe you don't need to be in my life. I can
Right.
figure it out.
Right. Exactly.
And so I think a lot of people lose good relationships
Right.
because they're so worried about what other people feel or think.
Right. Yeah. And life is short. So.
And as a parent, I have to accept. I raised you guys the best that I knew and how I did it. And whatever partner you choose,
Right.
I have to accept them as long as they make me happy, as long as they ain't beating you, as long as they're not doing anything that's going to cause you to be removed from this earth. I'm going to have open arms for that person.
Right.
That's how, as a parent, that's how I feel, because we're not in the old times where I choose the mate for you, I choose this mate for you, and do none of that.
Right.
No.
Right.
Because you have to be the one to be with that person every day in and day out.
Exactly.
Not me. I may come and
want them
visit
to
you.
be happy.
Yeah, I may come visit you, but I think I'm gonna leave.
Right.
You're the one who's going. Yeah, this is your life, and
Right.
and I'm very big on that with my girls. Like, I want you to be who you are, whether I agree or disagree. I'm gonna tell you, I love you regardless. Right. I love who you are. Right. You making the choice. Sierra has her own choices. I still love my daughter unconditionally. Right. You have your choice. I don't want anybody hurting you, but whoever you decide to be with, I'm gonna love you. When Jada gets in that position, I'm gonna love whoever she has accepted and brought into her life. And I think as parents, we forget that we cannot control our children when they become adults.
Right.
I'm very big on that.
It's just better to just let them be who they are. I mean, as long as they're not like out killing people and just doing horrible stuff like that, committing crimes, then I mean, they are who they are.
Yep. So, yeah, so we have moved into an hour.
Right.
I hope that you guys, loved our podcast, and you will tune back in again.
Right.
We just, this is our first one, and we're going to dive into different things. We just happen to do relationships because, people love talking about relationships.
Right.
They really do.
It's a big thing, I feel like,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And, just giving our insight and being 20 years apart, we just want to show the difference, a lot of similarities, but at the same time, we have a lot of different input when it comes to, relationships. So, yeah, so you can look us up. I am Lexee Love on Instagram, Lexee, LEXEE_LOVE. And you are.
And then Valentina, but I think it's underscore.
It is underscore.
Versus Valentino. So.
Yes. And you can follow us. And, like I said, I would love for you guys to share our video. And again, wealthcity.shop. You can support us by buying some of our products to help us with our YouTube. And just, we're going to be back. We're going to try to do this every week.
Right.
And, just talk about different topics, the difference in being a Gen X and a millennial. And so, yeah, I hope you guys really, just enjoyed our podcast.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Yes, we'll see you guys next time on Lexee Love, Candid Talk, and
Valentina versus Valentino.
You guys have a great evening.